Do complex legal issues hold you back? Let's get energized and bring clarity to your top legal questions. This is Law Talk with the Flock by Goosmann Law Firm.
Hello, I'm your host, Jeana Goosmann, a CEO, lawyer, author, and woman business owner, here to help navigate you through the law, your business, and life as a leader. For today's episode, I have with me Dr. Alison Tendler. Dr. Tendler is a board-certified ophthalmologist and the owner of ARTisan, an ARTisan skin and laser center in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Today, we're going to talk about running a successful woman-owned business. Thank you for joining me today, Dr. Tendler.
Oh, it is my pleasure, Jeana. So when I heard that this was an opportunity, I was just really grateful. So I appreciate you asking me to come on board and just chit chat a little bit about business.
Could you start by introducing yourself to our listeners and tell them a little bit about your background?
Great. Thank you. Yes, by training, I am an ophthalmologist, which means that I do eye surgery, and went to medical school. I should say, born and raised in South Dakota. So there's home. And throughout my time, not only do I practice ophthalmology and do surgery, but I also own a skin and laser center, so get to work a lot on the aesthetic side, helping people see themselves better, as well as helping them see the world better, which also is, yes, one of my values and missions. So.
Outstanding. Can you share with our listeners your journey to starting your own business, ARTisan and ARTisan Skin? How did you get to the point where you launched your own company?
Well, there's no launching of anything without a few hurdles, and maybe a few, jumping off cliffs at the same time, and hoping that somebody catches you or something catches before you fall and hit the ground. So as I started thinking about that, there was a kind of a time in my career. I'd been in a partnership practice for about 15 years, and there kind of came a time when there was a little, I want to say, kind of crossing the road, like, which way are you going to go? And I didn't think of myself as an entrepreneur. That wasn't in my vocabulary. Owning my own business was not something that I was going to. That wasn't going to be part of my world, especially by myself even. But how things happened, and figuring out, okay, I can either stay where I'm at and feel like I am, what do I want to say, not living fully who I am, or being maybe made to feel I wasn't right to live who I was and how I wanted to do things and how I saw the world. And that kind of led to a crossroads of saying, all right, here we go. And so it was kind of sink or swim, and didn't have a whole lot of time to pull off, kind of opening a new office and center. So yes, I was not like an entrepreneur by birth or anything like that. It was, but it's been good. It's been good to realize and be empowered to see this happen, to see this business grow, to interact with so many amazing other entrepreneurs inside and outside of my industry. And so it's that's kind of how it happened. It wasn't planned. It just kind of, it was a forceful jumping off of a cliff, and hoping that I had a few people coming along with me, and hoping we landed. So
I love the way that you put that. That's a great analogy. I think a lot of business owners feel like they jumped off a cliff and can relate to that.
I've got a saying. I mean, with my faith, there's a saying that I have. It was, I have it in my office. God is within her; she will not fall. And I looked at that a lot. I'm like, all right, and if I fall, I'm gonna be okay. And I think that knowledge of like, all right, I'm gonna jump. I've got some support to jump with me, but so if I do fail, okay, I failed, but I felt like we could make it happen.
What challenges do you think are unique to women that they have to overcome in order to be successful in starting a business?
Well, if they're anything like me, first one is self-doubt. So overcoming the fact that, I think you need to get out of your own head and get over your own hurdles that you are placing in front of yourself, not necessarily that somebody else is placing in front of you, but the ones that you put in yourself. And you can use the words, sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, the phrase imposter syndrome. But I certainly feel that. I continue to feel that. I talk about that with others, that I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't know how to run a business, I don't know how to own a business, how do you do this, I've never had to pay employees, how do you make this happen, all these little things, and trying to say like, okay, we'll figure it out. And what's been great is how much I've learned, how much I realize I have yet to learn. But you also then are now, I think, more adept at, all right, I can take this risk now. I know I can get through this. I'm going to be okay on the other side, whether it's a win or a loss, I'm still going to be okay, and we're going to get through. I also think that getting over feeling like everything has to be perfect. Not everything has to be perfect when you start a business. We women like to be perfect and have everything in line and everything figured out before we jump in, and that just isn't how it always works. It was messy, and I don't like messes, but it was messy to have to figure that out. Feeling like it's okay to say I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows that I think women don't like saying I don't know, or to tell others that they don't know, they want to have an answer, and so to feel confident that it's okay to say those things. And then I think a challenge is I didn't have a lot of kind of as I started going on the entrepreneur journey, didn't have a lot of mentors, didn't have a lot of other people in my field, and trying to get over myself again of saying like I need to reach out, I need to do this. This little introverted side of me is like, I don't want to reach out. I don't know how to reach out. I don't know who to reach out to. And just starting. And each time it's like, then it gets easier. And reaching out to, even particularly like a female. So a challenge, find a female mentor who's been there, who's done that, and who you've admired, and just say, hey, can I sit and visit with you? This is what I'm going through. And you need someone. You need someone to be able to share and just kind of word vomit out on and with.
And I think that's why we've connected too. It's not as though we're in the same industry by any means, but in a lot of respects, there really aren't a lot of women that are dominating in our industries. And I know for me, being one of the largest female-owned law firms in the country, it seems kind of crazy to say that now, but you just have to kind of forge your own path and find other women that are doing the same thing, even in their own industry.
And I look at you too, Jeana, as somebody who, when I met you and I heard about you and I saw what you were doing with your business, it's like that someone is you, who I admire, and I would love to get to know better, to see what your path has been, what your journey has been, what are some of the wins, losses, thoughts that you've had as far as your business growth, not just business growth, but personal growth, because I think as you grow your business, you grow yourself. And that's just as fun as actually doing the business is seeing that transformation within ourselves. So
absolutely. And I agree with you completely that believing in yourself is the most important part. And once you can get through that, then others can start to follow.
Yes.
So have you had to overcome any gender norms in your career to become the rock star woman leader that you are today?
First of all, I don't know about rockstar woman, so thank you. So still kind of getting over that as potentially being seen as somebody that others might now look up to as you're forging your own path. So rockstar, I look at others and say that too, and I still have a difficulty thinking about that as somewhere that I might be. So thank you. That was very kind.
Well, you're very humble.
Thank you. Which gets me in trouble once in a while. I'm not a self-promoter, and that is a concern for being a proponent for myself and my business. Gender norms. I've got a couple examples that come to mind. Let's say when I went through school, I'm not sure about yourself, but as I went through school, med school, actually, there's a lot of women, female physicians. We're about 50-50 represented in medical school. When I got to residency, started off 50-50. By the time I was done, I was one woman of 12. So I'm very used to being around men. I'm very used to having men colleagues. I'm very used to in industry meetings. I'm very used to working with male colleagues. However, I still think there's a little power imbalance between, yes, I've worked there my whole life. There's a lot of women that have been in my position, and even entrepreneurs too, but I still think there's a little power imbalance when you get around the table. So I still feel that, whether that's myself and maybe men.